everyone. Just wanted to introduce you to one of our very beloved and special clients, Z. This is Z.
Hey guys. Thanks, Liz. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. I guess really what we wanted to share and why I brought you in today is to help us have a bit of a conversation about really where you and I first started. And that was now 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Isn't that scary?
I know.
It's 2 years ago.
It's scary, but it's also exciting to know how far we've come, or how far I've come in those 2 years.
Yeah. So when you first came, you were visiting our old office premises, which was back in the Como
The Como, yeah. We sat on the floor. It was a really chilled session.
We went out to the courtyard.
Yeah,
Didn't
that's
we? We're
right.
sitting on the
That's
grass.
right. Yeah. And then you opened like this new sort of subject area that I had no knowledge of, and gave me a lot of guidance. But it took me a really long time also to come through. But yeah, that's where we started.
Yeah. And I remember when we were first looking at this, you were also looking at because deposit wasn't an issue. It was more about understanding what to do to first get started in property.
Correct. And what would be the best return on investment. But before meeting you, I was just going on realestate.com and looking at apartments that were
Close to universities, I think, was your thing.
And it was just apartments, and I had no idea on like what the square meter size was, and I was very, very green in that area. So but it was something that I had already had in mind for the last 4 years, because like you said, the money wasn't necessarily a problem, and it was always a plan for me to, after uni, graduate and start looking for that investment property.
So just so everyone knows, for your budget for your first purchase, what were you looking at on realestate.com? What were you finding out there, and what were you prepared to spend?
At the very early days, I was looking at buying a student accommodation. So it would have been around the 200, 300 mark, I reckon. And it was just to see if I could somehow balance it through rent. But, there would have been like no equity in that, and it wouldn't have been an investment that I could even imagine living in.
No.
And I think that was one of the reasons that held me back, because I almost felt like it was imposed on me from my family to find something in the market really quickly that I could, secure for 200 and just go on that journey of investment. But I don't know, I didn't want to have an emotional attachment to whatever I bought, but I also didn't want it to be something without research.
Sure. And so if I fast forward, we did a bit of exercises for you to show you the difference between buying something established versus buying something that was brand new. So I think that conversation has kind of triggered something for us as a business and as a firm, because yes, people know that Finvest help people get to 3 properties in 3 years, and we're very proficient to articulate these items. For someone that is like a first timer and just looking, if you've come straight from realestate.com with no actual technical awareness about, everyone knows that land is what appreciates, but the concept of what it would take for you to do what you've ended up doing by yourself would have been a very, overwhelming process had you not have, been mentored and coached and stepped through the financing and the structuring, and obviously working through various different types of properties to show you what you were capable of. So if we fast forward, what we did end up doing was something really, really special. And with Z, what I was looking at doing is getting her into a very established area, because she did have a situation where her family were supporting with helping you get into that first step. So area was really important, and an area that had overperformed in a relatively short circumference to the CDB,
Yeah.
but that land was really important because I know, and I'm sure everyone out there that is looking at property does know that it's land that appreciates in value, and it is the building that is the depreciating component. So I'm so happy that you've pivoted away from doing student accommodation, which has next to zero land component and does not have that ability, if you did decide to go and live in it, that you would want to hang out with students in the foreseeable future. So, okay, where we did end up taking you is to the estate called Saltwater Coast.
Correct.
I think I showed you about 8 different variations of different places and some apartment styles.
Correct, yeah.
Some new completed, some older completed, and basically the exercise reveals this. If you look at buying something that's established, you're paying stamp duty on the total completed value of that property. Whereas if you're looking at buying something where you're buying the land and you have got a builder and you're putting that parcel together, you're still controlling the same value of property. But rather than that money which is going to stamp duty, you only pay stamp duty on the land component in Victoria, which is roughly a third of what completed stamp duty is. So you see yourself on a $550,000 purchase, roughly $20,000 ahead. And that $20,000, yes, you do have to settle the land. You have to then go through building on that land with what's known as a fixed building contract, where there is progress payments. There's 5 of those, and those progress payments are paid between the builder and the bank to make sure that they arrive at the right person at the right time. With that situation, that holding cost roughly on your numbers worked out to around, I think it was $8,500. And that amount completely is tax deductible.
Yeah.
So what happened to you? So you settled your land about a year ago now.
Yeah.
And we ended up finding something really unique within the master plan that was on a corner lot that was a little bit obscure, but it was in a really prominent location right opposite a $3 million park and the lifestyle complex, which has a gymnasium, pool, outdoor spa. It was a fantastic spot in the master plan, and because it was a really irregular shaped block, we ended up getting a negotiated discount off that land. I don't know if you remember what that amount was. I do. Do you want me to remind you?
Was it like 50 grand off or something? I don't know.
It was 30 off the land.
Okay, yeah.
But then we also were managing to get a huge discount off the
building
as well.
Yes.
So in total, you're right, the discount came over to $70,000 for the land and the build. Amazing. When we looked at both of those together.
Yeah.
And we went through building stage by stage. What was it like for you going through having this team of people building this house for you?
It was great. I mean, also just a flashback to how we started. Like, Lisa didn't throw me in the deep end and just went, this is the best solution. Like, she did present apartments as well as land, and then we went through that process of learning and really educating myself on what the best return on investment would be like. And she gave me worksheets, and then I could see what my numbers would look like in 5 to 10 years. And that's when it was starting to make sense that whilst it's really scary, it is a long-term investment, and that I would come off better on the other side if I went for land. But yeah, when I went through the whole building process, obviously the fun stuff of choosing like what color you do and things like that, that's all great. But to actually work so closely with the builders and being able to adjust and do alterations, that was really exciting for me. And also because of Lisa's connection and network, we were able to get not only like really good quality relationships and just the way that the responsiveness of the team I felt like I never went like weeks without anyone informing me. It was always really, really fast, which is really important because if you've never gone through this process, even though you are at the hands of an expert, you're still really anxious about the whole thing because you don't know the lingo sometimes. So to be able to access Finvest network and to also be able to request alterations, because I really thought that an alfresco area was really important if I ever was to move back and host parties. That was really important to me, and I think it's just a nice little addition to the house, and also just being able to, you know, really push the boundaries, because we were working with a piece of land that potentially couldn't fit like 3 bedrooms on a single story, but Lisa was like pushing for that single story, and I think you know, we worked some miracles in there, and that's really exciting to see what has come up in that piece of land now.
And so you walked through the house. What was that experience like when we had that's what we'll always do is have an independent builder take you through that technically is trained to be able to see anything that needs to be shown around.
That was fantastic. I went with Adam, and he was great. Not only did he show me the whole like tour outside inside, but he also took me like up into the ceiling, roof, so I could see what they did with like the insulation, the padding, and the structure. We had a fantastic builder, and everything was intact, and I just couldn't believe how fast this structure had come up. I honestly thought this was going to take forever, and then when it was done I was like, oh my god, this is it.
That's it. And then you got the property managers, so
I know
they introduced you to Danielle.
And so again, through your network, thank you. And you know, with my rental property managers, they have a digital app, so all I have to do is just log in from wherever I am in the world and request any maintenance, anything like that. And you guys are so flexible, like your schedules, the fact that you sometimes work on weekends. It just means that I can always get in contact with you should anything else arise.
You know, from Finvest's point of view, we'll continue to have eyes on that for you while you're away. You know, that property manager is the same property manager that manages several of my investment properties. So Danielle has a special relationship with Finvest, and we're lucky that we have a network that does have the full cross section of, you know, they have 9 offices across Victoria. They're the largest property managers in Australia. And, you know, Finvest very humbly are very, very good at what we do, which is helping people grow, build, and understand how to use property for investment. The next piece that we are looking to get into is helping people have this conversation about building. And having conversation about building is this experience that you and I have used for investment purposes, but it's the same exact conversation that we're going to start having with people that have actually already secured land, and that want to use that land to build on, which is exactly what we're providing as a service in a wholesale language. So what we've decided to do is really open ourselves out to speaking to many people who are in this position where, especially at the moment, land prices have slowed down, land take-up has slowed down, and some people might even be in a position where their financials are not able to secure what they first thought they could that year ago when they put their hand up or when they went to a ballot and when they secured that parcel of land. So more than ever, pricing is the most important part of using that first opportunity in property and getting that right. And I've thought to myself, with everything that's happened in finance and with everything that's happening within the discounts that we're getting for our clients, it's really important that people that are starting, that are first home buyers or that have got land, that they are definitely people that we can help here at Finvest. Look at what we did with you. You know, we found an off-cut, a regular piece of land. We negotiated a $70,000 discount between the land and the build, and we supported you through that whole maze of the financing and how and what to put together on that parcel of land that would be cost effective for you, and help you understand that that one property is yet a stepping stone in a whole series of things that will be coming thereafter as
Yeah.
a result of you doing that one thing when you started.
Sure.
So I feel like that just by the sheer nature of what the industry has given us, it's an opportunity that we get to now look a little bit differently towards who it is that we can help, especially now when that extra bit is needed out of getting those discounts to help people get across the line.
For sure.